Okay, namaste and welcome, beloved mighty companions. Wow, thank you, Jesus. Gracias, Jesus. You can see the blessings in being brought together. Can you hear me okay, Lisbeth? Can she hear me? Hola. We can't. Can you hear me? We can't hear our translator.
Can you hear me now?
Tengo propósito.
Sí, we can hear you. Very good. So namaste and welcome, everyone.
Namaste, bienvenidos a uno de ustedes.
So much happiness.
Mucho felicidad, estoy feliz.
Felicidad. Why wait till Christmas when we can have happiness now?
Estamos en Navidad y estamos en Navidad ahora.
When we can just celebrate all that we are right here, right now.
Cuando todos celebramos, estamos en una celebración en este momento.
So today's talk is really, it's open to everyone, but it's for our spiritual psychotherapy program.
Vamos a hablar hoy acerca del programa de psicoterapia.
And as we all know, we're all in psychotherapy with the one who knows.
Y vamos a hablar acerca de la psicoterapia del que sabe.
So what that means is it's really the power at looking at all the play in consciousness. It's the real power.
Ok, aquel que sabe que el poder está en la mente, el verdadero poder está en la mente.
From the perspective of inner light.
De nuestra luz.
You know, from that to see the power that looking with the light. I think we're losing you, Lisbeth. Now we can hear something.
¿Puedes escucharme?
Yes, sí.
Okay.
But the power of how looking with the perspective of the light of true identity makes it so much easier to release all these plays in the subconscious mind.
Can you repeat this?
Can you move closer to your Wi-Fi? Are you really close to your Wi-Fi? That could help.
Wait a minute. I'm going to do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, good idea. Okay.
Not
Yeah.
video.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're looking at the power we have, starting with the infinite light within.
Buscando el poder que nosotros tenemos. Can you repeat the second sentence, please?
Starting with the light within.
Comenzando por la luz que está en nosotros, dentro de nosotros.
We're so used to being involved in the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions.
Que aquella que envuelve nuestras emociones.
Okay. And those, all those are is a big distraction from seeing what we really are.
Y todo lo demás son distracciones para que no veamos quiénes somos realmente.
So now we have a very direct means of looking to see these plays in the subconscious mind.
Y ahora vamos a buscar directamente en ese lugar de nuestro subconsciente.
That deny happiness, light, inner light is happiness.
Y no negar nuestra luz interna de la felicidad.
They're the same. Light and happiness are the same.
La luz y la felicidad es lo mismo.
So I'll start, I'm going to share my screen to share the little diagram so we can really start talking. We call it talking with Jesus.
Okay. Y voy a abrir mi diagrama para compartir y mostrar mi conversación con Jesús.
But this is merely the voice of inner wisdom that we all have.
Can you repeat again, please?
This is merely the voice for wisdom that we all have within.
Esto es el merecimiento de la voz que hay en nosotros.
And we want to start from a place of wisdom because the ego's play is very unwise.
Sí, y vamos a comenzar por la wisdom. Wisdom.
Yeah, good question. Let's see what wisdom is in Spanish.
Yeah, wisdom.
Wisdom.
Sabiduría.
Sabiduría.
Yes. Ajá, esta es la sabiduría.
Sabiduría. That's a good word. I'm going to learn that one. Sabiduría.
Sabiduría. Yes.
Because this voice of the ego is not wise.
¿Sabe? Porque la voz del ego no es eso.
You know, it's always saying something that is not nice or helpful.
Y no es una voz que atraiga, que sea bonita o que sea útil.
So this training of psychotherapy is to listen to the voice of wisdom within.
Okay. Este entrenamiento de psicoterapia es para entrenarnos a escuchar la voz de la sabiduría, del conocimiento.
And everyone has that wisdom and that voice within.
Y todos tenemos esa voz con cada uno de nosotros.
There are no exceptions to that.
No hay excepciones en eso.
Now, for me, it was helpful to use the voice for Jesus and for many of the beings that join with us.
Y para mí ha sido muy útil escuchar la voz de Jesús y deseo compartirlo con ustedes.
And some would call you crazy for talking to Jesus, but once you've been talking to him for a while, you know it's the way to go.
Y pueden decir que estoy loca por hablar con Jesús, que estamos locos por hablar con Jesús, pero esa es la voz que escuchamos y la que todos vamos a escuchar.
So you can call it the voice for inner wisdom. You can call it the Holy Spirit.
Puedes llamar esa voz la sabiduría o puedes llamar a esa voz el Espíritu Santo.
But it's the voice that knows the truth of our identity.
Pero esa es la voz de la verdad acerca de nuestra real identidad.
And of course, the voice that if we ask that voice, it's going to coach us and show us all the little tricks of the ego.
Y esa voz nos va a ayudar a descubrir todas las trampas que el ego nos pueda hacer.
So I'm going to see if I can share both of these here.
Y vamos a compartir este
We'll see how successful. Can I get rid of that and get this small? Okay. Yeah. So I sent this out. It should be in the WhatsApp group. It's out on Facebook.
Can you repeat again, please?
Yes, I sent out these diagrams. We sent them out on Facebook and they're in the WhatsApp group.
Okay, este diagrama se envió a los grupos de Facebook, a los grupos de WhatsApp y también a la página. To the website too, no? Yes, a la página.
Yeah, I don't think it's on the website yet, but I'm realizing you might drive everybody a little nuts to watch.
Okay. Ya no sabe exactamente si ya está, pero próximamente estará. Pero sí se enviaron.
Bobble, but maybe so. Maybe we have to learn to focus on what's still and unmoving.
Ok, pueda que sí se lleve hasta allá, pero todavía están en eso. Tiene movimiento, se está moviendo. It's moving.
So we have Spanish on the left and English on the right.
Ok, español e inglés. Y el inglés a la derecha. Open it.
So for those beings who are devoted to transcending the pain and the suffering of the world,
aquellos que están realmente comprometidos a trascender el sufrimiento de este mundo,
this diagram is very worthwhile to contemplate with that voice for wisdom, or like we say, we call it Jesus.
este diagrama va a ser muy útil para que puedan contemplar la voz de la sabiduría, la voz de Jesús para trascender.
Because in the ego would make the idea that there's a victim and a victimizer.
Porque el ego tiene la idea o vende la idea de que hay una víctima y un victimario.
Okay, so the victim is the one that everything happens to, you know, it's happening to me.
Exacto, la víctima es aquel a quien todo le sucede y todo me sucede a mí. Aquel que se siente agredido, que se siente perseguido.
I'm going to see just one second if I can turn this. See if I can put this on the desktop so it's still. Let me see. Yep, 7:14. Yeah, there we go.
7:14.
There we go. So it's not quite bobbing around so much. Okay, so it's still, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You can see that? You still see the diagram?
¿Pueden ver el diagrama?
See?
I can do it.
You can see it? Okay. So if we start with the idea of the ego is playing, it's a trick. It's playing a trick and going, you're either a victim or you're a victim, basically. It likes to be a victim of everything that happens is happening to me.
Ok. En el caso de la víctima, el ego vende la idea de que todo te sucede a ti, que tú, o sea, a ti te suceden todas las cosas. Todo lo demás influye para que a ti te pasen las cosas.
Okay, so there's the victim is the one that everything happens to.
La víctima es aquella a quien todo le pasa, todo le sucede, todas las cosas malas le suceden.
And if you look at it in the mind, you'd probably say, most would say, oh, I'm never a victimizer. I'm always the one who's being victimized. Like, who's the victimizer? It's always somebody else.
Ok, si buscamos en nuestra mente, vamos a decir, bueno, que nunca hemos sido el victimario, que siempre hemos sido la víctima. El victimario siempre ha sido alguien más.
Now, this is where you got to go deep with Jesus or that voice for wisdom in the subconscious mind.
Por eso es que tenemos que buscar en nuestro interior, en lo más profundo de nosotros, la voz de la sabiduría de Jesús para...
Because that is to see that those are not different things.
Porque esto es lo que nos permite ver la diferencia de estas cosas.
Okay. This, when you see this, you'll see you're on the home stretch for freedom from the ego.
Ok, cuando puedes ver esto, cuando lo puedes observar, entonces puedes liberarte del ego.
So you can write this down. You talk to Jesus or that inner voice about this.
Y puedes entonces hablar con Jesús, con tu voz interior, acerca de eso.
Jesus, are a victim and a victimizer the same? Yes or no?
Jesús, ¿es lo mismo o no es lo mismo ser víctima que victimario?
This is where it gets really deep. There's only one.
Hay que ir muy profundo, hay que ir al interior, porque
Okay.
hay uno solo.
There's one. There's only totality. Okay. There's only one.
Hay solamente uno, hay una sola, es solo la totalidad.
And the ego claims, look, there's two.
Y el ego proclama, no, son dos.
So it can experience the experience of separation over and over and over again.
Y entonces hace de la experiencia de la separación una y otra vez.
And the way it does that is to always constantly make it seem like I'm a victim and someone out there or something out there is victimizing me.
Y entonces vende la idea, o se dice que siempre hay una persona que es la víctima o que es el victimario y otra persona, y que siempre hay otra persona que me victimiza.
But when you go deep into the subconscious mind and you talk to Jesus about this and you ask him, he will show you that you cannot have one without the other. You cannot have a victim without a victimizer.
Ok, vayamos profundo, investiguemos y preguntémosle a Jesús para que nos muestre, para poder ver que no hay dos, que no hay una víctima y un victimario.
And it's not happening seemingly that there's some victimizer out there.
Y que no está pasando nada y que no hay ningún victimario que pueda hacerme algo allá afuera.
It's self-inflicted victimization because the ego loves the experience of being both a victim and a victimizer at the same time.
Y que el conflicto de las víctimas es algo que le gusta al ego. Y, de decir que hay una víctima y que hay un victimario donde uno le hace daño al otro y hay otro que sufre por lo que el otro hace.
Okay, and the way to see this is to go down in the subconscious mind with the voice for God, with Jesus, and ask him, Jesus, do I relish the experience of being a victim? Yes or no?
Okay, y vayamos y preguntemos. Vayamos a nuestro yo interior, a la parte interna y preguntémosle a Jesús. Jesús,
and then,
¿soy víctima, sí o no?
Okay, then let him show you the relishing of the energy of the experience, the desire for the experience to feel like you're being victimized and how much it's loved. You'll see that little golem down there. It loves that experience.
Y entonces él nos va a mostrar cómo nosotros de manera inconsciente o subconsciente, cuánto amamos esa experiencia de la víctima y el victimario.
So we go over here to the other side. We have to see both sides deep in the subconscious mind.
Hay dos lados en esta, si vamos a nuestra parte profunda de la conciencia.
And this is where the real surprises come, right here. But it's the way out. It's the way out of suffering.
Y ahí es donde está la sorpresa, nos sorprendemos, porque no hay sufrimiento.
And then you look deeply and you go, is there a desire for the experience to be a victimizer below my level of awareness? Do I love it?
Ok, entonces vamos profundo. Y entonces nos damos cuenta que es que nos gusta, ¿verdad? Ese deseo o esa experiencia de sentirnos víctimas. Es un deseo profundo de disfrutar esa experiencia de víctima.
Because at first the ego is going to go, oh no, there's just no way. I don't think, look, I'm like nice, I would never victimize. I would, and it will go like that. The ego will talk like that.
Sí, entonces el ego dice, oh no, los voy a mantener ocupados en eso de la víctima y el victimario.
And so it is a really profound surprise, but a good surprise to go down there and find out that being a victimizer is an experience in consciousness that's relished.
Can you repeat again, please?
That being a victimizer is relished in the subconscious mind at a subconscious level.
Y que hay una víctima, o sea, que no hay, o hay una víctima en el nivel subconsciente.
In consciousness, there are no exceptions to this.
En el subconsciente no hay una diferencia, no hay excepciones en eso.
You cannot have one of these happening without the other in the subconscious mind.
Y no puede haber uno sin el otro en la mente subconsciente, una víctima y un victimario.
But because of the way the ego uses time,
el ego utiliza el tiempo,
it makes it look like, oh, sometimes I'm a victor and sometimes I'm a victim and sometimes I'm a little bit mean.
y entonces unas veces soy la víctima y otras veces me hago daño a mí, pues soy yo el victimario.
So it's illuminating. It's the way out of all fear and suffering to see this play within the subconscious mind, to go deep enough into subconscious mind to see this.
Cuando es muy liberador, cuando vamos a nuestra mente subconsciente y nos damos cuenta de ello.
And fully release the relishing, that golem that's down there, really loving the experience of victimizer experience.
Y cuando logramos trascender esta experiencia de la víctima y victimario, bueno, nos sentimos muy bien.
I spent a number of years coaching in the prison system, coaching behavior and looking at different behaviors.
Behaviors, I don't remember. Can you refresh me?
Looking at how they
Buscando.
behaviors, looking at how they were behaving and trying to help them behave differently, not kill people and beat people up.
Comportamientos que observan cómo se estaban comportando y tratan de ayudarlos a comportarse de manera diferente, no a matar y golpear a la gente.
Okay, but I was what? Go ahead.
Sí, o sea, tratar de ayudarse, tratar de salir a las personas, de salir de esa situación que creían que estaban viviendo. Eso es lo que hacen.
But this is deep. This is deep. As long as there's an idea that is outside, like that there's someone outside acting in that way, there is no freedom. I'm just going to be direct. That's all there is. There's no freedom.
No es libertad de eso de que haya una persona que pueda hacerte daño o que pueda estarte tratando de esa manera. No es libertad.
You'll be in a continual state of attack, feeling like you're attacked and afraid of the world, as long as this is lurking around in the subconscious mind.
Eso es una path, can you path, P-A-T-H, path.
As long as these plays are unseen or hidden in the subconscious mind, you're going to feel constantly attacked.
En tu mente puedes tener la idea de que estás en constante ataque.
And you can ask Jesus, it's just tremendous pain and suffering come out of this.
Y puedes preguntarle a Jesús si eso es posible, si esa tremenda carga de sufrimiento.
Because all of this is being miscreated at a subconscious level so it can be experienced consciously.
Esa es una fabricación inconsciente.
So it can be projected out that it's occurring somewhere outside in the world.
es una proyección de que alguien pueda hacerte algo fuera de este mundo.
But without looking deeply to see the desire for the experience of self-victimization, all being a victimizer, victimizing ourselves.
Es una locura el pensar que alguien pueda hacerte daño, o sea, que eres una víctima o que alguien pueda victimizarte a ti mismo.
And this is relished by the interpretive function of consciousness.
Esa es la verdadera función de la conciencia.
So the dance of the ego, the dancing with the devil,
El baile del ego o el baile del diablo,
okay, is to see that the way it's like this diagram where it's pinging back and forth among these concepts, trying to find peace.
y el ego va a tratar de que esto no se, o sea, de que no se encuentre la paz. Y
And when
debemos,
And when you go down there in the subconscious mind and you see that you actually think happiness comes from being a victim.
Y cuando vas al subconsciente te das cuenta que vas buscando felicidad cuando te crees una víctima.
The reason why these persist in the subconscious mind is because there is a belief, a hidden belief, that it brings happiness.
Porque cuando vas a tu subconsciente te das cuenta, crees que esto te puede traer felicidad. Ay, goodness.
And so the ego loves this sense of feeling like it has no power. I am powerless. I'm a powerless victim.
Y el ego le gusta esa experiencia de que eres una víctima, o sea, de que eres una víctima, sin poder, sin fuerza.
But then the victimizer is going, okay, so I've had enough. I'm never going to be this powerless again. That's a favorite little thing it's going to do. The ego's going to do.
Can you repeat again, please?
The ego loves this play of feeling powerless and then going, I'm never going to do that again.
Okay, a él le gusta vender esa sensación de que no tienes el poder y de que nunca más podrás obtenerlo.
So it's going to go down and become, okay, I'm going to be more powerful than God now. I'm the powerful one. See, I'm powerful.
Sí, yo soy poderoso. Yo soy poderoso. Eso le gusta al ego. Decir que
So
yo soy poderoso.
It's searching for salvation. The ego searches for salvation and pings back and forth, trying to find peace, believing peace can be found in one of these quadrants.
Okay, el ego trata de vender esa idea de que la felicidad se puede encontrar y el poder, o sea, que ese poder en ese programa, pues, de la víctima y del sufrimiento y del dolor, en el caso de la víctima y el victimario.
So there's a belief below the level of awareness. It's very profound to see.
Hay una creencia, can you repeat again, please?
There's beliefs below the level of awareness.
Hay una creencia en el nivel bajo de conciencia.
That happiness, freedom,
la libertad,
peace,
la
paz can be found through the experience of victim.
Se puede encontrar a través de la experiencia de la
victimizer. I can be saved if I'm a victim.
Y que el victimario puede salvar a la víctima.
Somehow, and if I'm never a victim again, I can be saved. I become the victimizer.
Y que la víctima jamás va a estar a salvo sin el victimario.
It relishes that experience of powerlessness. I can be saved if I'm powerlessness. This is profound to see in the subconscious mind.
Sí, eso es algo que se ve en la conciencia profunda, el hecho de la paralización, ¿verdad? De las víctimas por el victimario.
But I can, if that's not working, I'm going to move over here and move into the victimizer mode, more power than God.
Y el victimario piensa que tiene más poder que Dios.
And then it seems to move between victim. Okay, now I'm the victimizer. I'm in control.
Ahora el victimario está en control.
I can control my children.
Puedo controlar a mis niños.
But at the same time, it loves the experience of feeling someone else being in control, seemingly. I'm out of control. So it loves that feeling.
Sí, y a la vez estoy disfrutando esa experiencia de saber que controlo a otras personas.
So it's just a constant. There's no peace. This is all the anxiety and the depression and all of these appearances of just unrelenting suffering.
Y todo eso causa depresión, sufrimiento. Es una experiencia nada agradable.
Because it's constantly, all these are hidden in the subconscious mind, is relished by the ego, and the ego treats them like they're different.
Can you repeat again, please?
Because as long as the way the ego plays this game is it makes each of these different.
Okay, porque el ego hace ese juego de diferentes maneras.
You know, I'm helpless. It loves being helpless. I can't change my mind. I can't, you know, I'm susceptible to my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions.
Sí, que no puedo recibir ayuda y que no puedo cambiar mis emociones.
It loves powerlessness and helplessness.
Él le gusta el paralizar, el que la gente no actúe.
And then swinging over, okay, when that's not working, I'm going to play the other role. It just pings off of all of these.
Y que las personas entonces mantengan ese rol, mantengan ese papel de víctima sin hacer nada bajo el control de.
So in order to see this, you have to really, really be dedicated to seeing it.
Y él está realmente dedicado a mirar y a ver eso.
Because the ego is going to have every kind of distraction not to see this play in the subconscious mind.
Porque el ego va a utilizar muchas distracciones para que no vayamos a nuestra mente consciente.
And it's very, very profound. For instance, when you talk to Jesus, you look in the subconscious mind in these sessions.
Y es muy importante que busquemos, que vayamos profundamente cuando hablamos con Jesús para buscar respuestas.
And you see the sheer level of pleasure that's being derived from this play in consciousness of whatever one of these. You'll ask, if you go down deep enough into the subconscious mind, you'll see that there's pleasure in being a victim.
Si vas profundamente a tu conciencia, te darás cuenta que sientes en realidad placer en estar en este juego.
Now, the way the ego plays that is it complains bitterly. Oh, I'm a victim and this is really terrible.
Manera que ego juega y te dice, oh, es terrible, soy una víctima, es terrible ser una víctima.
Okay, but in the subconscious mind, there is the deepest level of relishing and pleasure of that experience.
Y en nuestra mente subconsciente, en realidad, disfrutas de esa experiencia de ser víctima.
Okay, so it's going to go, oh, this is so painful when I'm powerless, but it's relishing pain, it's relishing pleasure in that, under there.
Sí, es muy dolorosa esta experiencia, pero en realidad lo disfruto. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, I'm so sorry. So deep as you are talking to. Thanks for this.
Say that again?
No. I'm telling you, thank you for this word that Jesus told you.
Oh, I love you. Well, we have to go together, you know, to see these things, because the world won't, you know, we're transcending the world with this.
Yes, of course, yes, you are right. Sí, nosotros estamos trascendemos el mundo con esto.
When you're willing to go deep into the mind to look at this, you're going to see how much joy and happiness there is under that this is obscuring out of awareness.
Si vamos muy profundo, podemos ver entonces lo que está sucediendo en nuestra mente, en nuestra felicidad. ¿Qué es lo que está sucediendo?
Because we know, anyone who's devoted to spiritual awakening has heard of the light.
Cualquier persona que se dedique en su despertar, puede encontrar la luz.
And in this, we call it the holy instant in the Course in Miracles.
Si invocamos el instante santo, podemos entonces tener el milagro.
And most spiritual traditions that I know of talk about this light.
Y en las experiencias, o sea, en las más tradicionales experiencias espirituales, se habla acerca de esto.
Which is the inner light that lights everyone who's born.
Y porque con esta luz interna todos hemos nacido, todos tenemos esa luz.
So as we start to notice that light, that inner light,
todos es notar que esa luz interna,
we can see that light, that inner light that everyone is, it does not move or change.
Y podemos ver que esa luz interna está en todos y que esa luz nunca cambiará.
Lena's cheering. Yes, it's the unchanging.
Y Lina dice, sí, está cambiando.
Okay,
está brillando, it's shining, brillando. Yes.
It's what Jesus was pointing to. It's the resurrection. It's the light within that it is unborn and does not die.
Sí, es la luz de la resurrección. Y cuando es así, no hay muerte, no morimos.
And this little diagram is showing the movement. See, the ego is movement.
Y en este diagrama le estamos mostrando los movimientos del ego.
In order to obscure that light from awareness.
Para oscurecer la luz de nuestra santidad.
To keep the play of unhappiness in play because the ego loves it.
Para ocultar nuestra luz y nuestra felicidad.
So this is actually, Jesus is saying, this is how the subconscious mind is created.
Esto es como nuestra conciencia.
The dream. This is the dream of separation, how it's maintained in this movement here, staying in this movement.
En ese diagrama justamente se ve cómo el movimiento del sueño de la separación se mueve.
Getting hung up in the thoughts and feelings and emotions that are constantly at play.
En dolores, sufrimientos, en emociones. Es todo un juego. ¿Cómo se mueve? Es todo un juego.
So this psychotherapy is being led specifically to the places in the subconscious mind where these are at play, to see the relishing and release it.
Can you repeat again, Guy?
This psychotherapy that Jesus is offering, the wisdom.
Okay, la psicoterapia de Jesús está ofreciendo la sabiduría.
Is to come together and look into the subconscious mind and let him point these things out to you so you can discover all of this for yourself.
Okay, de unirnos y de poder reconocernos a nosotros mismos.
And so this is the beauty of this. This is without judgment. This is with curiosity to look at this.
Esa es la curiosidad, ese es el juicio, eso es lo hermoso, la belleza de abocarnos a esto, de ver esto.
Because I mean, at first I'm going, oh, there's just no way. I'm not a victimizer. I mean, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
¿Qué es eso de ser víctima y victimario? ¿Qué es eso? ¿De qué estás hablando?
Whoa. And then when you go down there and go, holy smokes, it's relished. It's the beloved.
Can you repeat again, please?
It's like you have the revelation that it is the beloved down in the subconscious mind.
Es una revelación de nuestro subconsciente, de nuestra mente subconsciente.
So we're going to be direct about it. This is the dissolution of a subconscious mind. You dissolve so that there is no subconscious mind. Why do you need one?
¿Qué es lo que necesitamos? Vamos a nuestra mente subconsciente.
You can ask, you know, because I could see I took that for granted. We talk about it, you know, in psychotherapy and all these things talk about, okay, it's in the subconscious mind below the level of awareness.
Estamos hablando acerca de la psicoterapia y acerca de la mente subconsciente y acerca de la santidad y el despertar.
So I realized there's a huge presupposition in that. That's a big word. What's a word for presupposition? That's a big assumption. We'll say that's a big assumption that you even need one. What do you need one for?
¿Para qué lo necesitamos? ¿Para qué necesitamos? ¿Para qué lo necesitamos?
What do you need a subconscious mind for? Let's talk about that.
Permitámonos hablar acerca de eso. ¿Para qué necesitamos la mente subconsciente?
No, it's a factory of consciousness to deny divinity through an ego, the ego.
Okay, es una fábrica para negar nuestra verdadera identidad.
And then deny that it's chosen experience. These are chosen experiences. In the subconscious mind is choosing to have the experience.
En la mente subconsciente podemos experimentar. Can you repeat again, please, Kai?
It's a way to obscure that every one of these experiences is chosen. It's wanted.
Okay, todo lo que desea es oscurecer la experiencia, nuestra experiencia de lo que somos.
Okay. This is deep looking to start seeing that the subconscious mind is a miscreation to hide that every one of these experiences is desired and chosen.
Eso es lo que desea mostrar la. Can you repeat again, please? It's outside. Wait a minute, please. Okay, now you can repeat again. Yes, because there are movement outside. Can you repeat, please?
Yes, so the subconscious mind is a denial.
Está la negación.
That every one of these experiences is a desired and chosen experience.
Está el deseo subconsciente de negar.
It's a chosen experience.
Decidir experiencias, compartir experiencias.
And on the surface, the ego goes, I would never choose to be a victim.
Oh, nunca voy a elegir ser una víctima, dice el ego.
I would never choose to be a victimizer.
Yo nunca voy a elegir ser un victimario.
Someone else at work is a control freak. I'd never want to feel like I'm controlling someone else.
Yo nunca me voy a sentir controlado por nadie. Nunca voy a controlar a nadie.
That's the talking head. But if you go down into the subconscious mind and look, you'll see every one of these every experience that appears in consciousness is desired at the level of the subconscious mind.
Cuando vamos y buscamos en nuestra mente subconsciente, nos damos cuenta que es un deseo que está allí de jugar ese rol de víctima o victimario. Es un deseo subconsciente del ego.
But we kind of take these things for granted rather than turning into them directly to see what they are.
Can you repeat again, please?
We need to turn inward to see exactly what these things are.
Okay, debemos entonces cambiar, ver hacia dónde vamos realmente. O sea, yes.
We take them for granted like there's some kind of real thing to be a victim and a victimized. We treat them like they're real and outside of us.
Can you repeat again, please,
We
guys?
treat these things victim and victim like they're real. They're like something outside of us.
El truco en eso de ser víctima o victimario está, o sea, hay que ver eso, pues es un truco. El
But
ver
the
victimario.
only way to find peace is to see this is happening at a subconscious level through our desire for it.
Ok, es reconocer que es un deseo subconsciente de nosotros. Allí es donde está el secreto, pues. El reconocer que es un deseo subconsciente de nosotros de estar en ese rol, de estar en ese papel.
So it's seeing that, you know, because we talk about suppressed memories and things that happened to you when you were little.
Ok, eso de estar, cuáles son tus deseos reprimidos, qué fue lo que sucedió cuando tú eras un niño.
But if you really want to take the cover off this and see what's underneath this thing,
Si deseas saber realmente qué lo que está sucediendo, qué es lo que pasa,
when, you know, once we're really sick of pain and suffering and we're going to go, no, I'm going to find out what this is.
wait a minute. Can you repeat again, please?
When we're sick of pain and suffering and we really want to find out what it is.
Ok, si queremos ver qué es lo que es la enfermedad y el sufrimiento, qué es lo que son realmente. Si lo
Okay.
queremos.
And just be ready, because the ego is going to scream like a maniac as soon as you start trying to look and uncover this.
Y estemos preparados, porque el ego va a tratar de encubrirlo, de que no lo descubramos, de que no nos demos cuenta.
Because it likes protecting its little kingdom of hell and suffering.
Porque él protege su pequeño reino de sufrimiento y dolor.
But if we pull the covers back and you keep peeling the covers back,
si nosotros retornamos,
you'll see that every single appearance in consciousness that's experienced,
podemos ver, can you repeat again, please, Kai?
if you pull the covers back, if you pull the covers back, you look underneath the ego. If you pull the covers back,
Si tira de las mantas hacia atrás.
okay, and look underneath what the ego's doing,
Mira hacia abajo con los eagles haciendo.
not the eagle, the ego, not the Aguilera, but the ego, okay? You'll see that it's all a chosen experience. It's wanted, but
Son
¿Ves que
experiencias.
es todo lo que
okay,
muestra?
go ahead.
Okay. Has elegido la experiencia, eres tú quien has elegido la experiencia.
Yeah, that it's, and because this suppressed memory, the memory that's suppressed is the memory that we chose to have this experience. That's what's suppressed.
Sí, porque esa es la memoria suprimida, o eso que está escondido es nuestra, es lo que hemos elegido, es nuestra elección, es allí, pues lo que se dice que es esta memoria subconsciente, en realidad es lo que estamos eligiendo.
And the ego is going to go, oh, that's really horrible, and I don't want to see that.
Y luego sufre cuando podemos ver eso.
But you'll see it when you see it, you'll realize, oh, that's the way out, because I don't have to choose that experience anymore.
Y ya cuando lo ves, ya decides no ver esa experiencia nunca más.
And this is where also in A Course in Miracles, it says pleasure and pain are the same.
Eso es lo que dice el curso de milagro.
Pleasure and pain are the same.
Que el dolor y el placer son lo mismo.
Just 1 second. Okay, there we go.
Okay, aquí vamos.
Yeah, I just made sure. Okay, so this is really what the ego does not want to see. that
Eso
they're
es lo que,
the same.
eso es lo que el ego no quiere que sepamos que es lo mismo.
Because the ego's function is to seek pleasure and avoid pain.
Porque la función del ego es elegir, pues, cubrir el dolor con el placer.
Okay, and it believes that somewhere in all this cycling, going back and forth like that, it's going to find more pleasure and less pain.
Porque se va a encontrar dolor y se cubre con placer, o se va a encontrar placer.
But that's why you have to really turn into it and ask that wisdom voice, ask Jesus.
Por eso es que debemos entonces volvernos y preguntarle a Jesús.
Especially when you have a pain, when pain comes up and then you start looking at it.
Cuando el sufrimiento y el dolor hay que buscar qué es lo que estoy buscando, qué es lo que estoy buscando con el dolor y el sufrimiento.
And to see that it's pleasure under that. It's pure, unmitigated pleasure under pain.
Ok, y que lo que hay detrás es sencillamente un placer en el dolor. Se siente un placer.
It is relished if you look in the subconscious mind.
Eso es lo que hay en la mente subconsciente.
And so it's a trick that, you know, somehow pleasure is better than pain, but they're the same. Pleasure is, you can look down in there in the subconscious mind and see that.
Ok, ese es el truco, que se dice que el dolor y el placer, entre el dolor y el placer, pero en la mente subconsciente viene a ser lo mismo. Wow, wow, wow. Thanks, God. Jesus.
But you'll see it's the way
Gracias.
out because, oh, you'll see the trick so fast because you'll learn you can go down instead of focusing on the pain, you focus on the pleasure you're getting from it.
Let me move. I'm moving again.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm here again. Okay, continue, please.
Okay, so you'll see how powerful that is. Instead of when you have pain,
Puedes ver cuán satisfactoriamente te sientes cuando sientes dolor, cuando tienes dolor.
use that as an opportunity to go look under it and see, am I really relishing this experience in my subconscious mind?
Can you repeat again, please?
You go down and see whether you ask, am I relishing this experience of pain?
Y puedes ir y preguntar, ¿qué estoy ganando con esta experiencia del dolor?
Okay, do I like this somehow secretly?
Y podemos darnos cuenta que es algo secreto, que es nuestro deseo secreto.
And if you find that you do, don't judge it, be happy about it because you can see you don't have to choose it anymore.
Y no tienes por qué, si quieres ser feliz, no tienes por qué elegirlo nunca más.
You know, you just stay with the relishing of it. You'll see it start to burn out. Stay with the relishing.
Estar con la verdad, con la verdadera felicidad.
Okay, and you'll see how much consciousness uses this pain and pleasure thing to ping pong around in here rather than experience true love.
Can you repeat again, please?
When you start looking at pain and you get that it's desired.
Cuando tú comienzas a buscar el dolor, es tu deseo.
You'll start to see what a distraction it is not to see what's true.
Cuando te das cuenta que es una distracción, te das cuenta que es verdad.
And as soon as you start looking, you're going to see all kinds of pain come into consciousness because there's deep in the subconscious mind, we don't want to see the truth of this.
Cuando vamos a nuestra conciencia interna, a nuestra conciencia profunda, nos damos cuenta que no queremos, que no la queremos.
where where the play is to play these different angles, control, out of control.
Y cuando lo miramos o jugamos de diferentes ángulos, vemos diferentes ángulos, es control y fuera de control.
But we have to see that it's happening at once. It's all happening at once.
Tenemos que ver que todo sucede a la vez.
It's a trick. It doesn't happen in one and then the other. They're happening simultaneously. You can ask Jesus that.
Y tenemos que darnos cuenta que eso sucede simultáneamente. Y debemos...
Yeah, ask Jesus. Jesus, did you know what pleasure was? Do you know what, when you were on this earth, did you know what pleasure was? Ask him yes or no.
Preguntémosle a Jesús. Jesús, ¿tú sabes lo que es el placer? ¿Eso no es el placer?
Ask him, Jesus, did you know what pain was? Did you experience any pain?
Preguntémosle a Jesús, Jesús, ¿tú has experimentaste el placer, algún tipo de, de dolor? ¿Un tipo de dolor, el dolor?
No. That's profound. Jesus, do I need to ask him, do I need to experience pain? Is it necessary for me to experience pain? Yes or no?
Jesús, es necesario que yo pueda, es necesario que yo experimente esta experiencia o tenga esta experiencia de dolor, ¿sí o no?
It's humbling when you hear no and you're going, what the?
Entonces preguntemos, ¿qué es eso? ¿Qué pasa con esto?
But just check in with the light and see how the light's doing. Is the light experiencing any pain?
Can you repeat again, please?
Just check in with the light.
Ya, haz un chequeo con la luz, en la luz. Pregúntalo, chequéalo en la luz.
Is the light experiencing any pain?
Es una experiencia luminosa, algún dolor es una experiencia luminosa.
So now he's just given a whole bunch of things to really go into the subconscious mind and see what kind of relishing and pleasure is being derived from all these painful experiences.
Tenemos que ir a la mente subconsciente y ver qué tan, o sea, que esa experiencia del dolor puede ayudarnos. O sea, puede darnos placer. ¿Qué es lo que deseamos en nuestro subconsciente?
And then as those release, those desires, those experiences, your happiness.
Tienes que sobrepasar esa experiencia del dolor porque eres feliz.
Because you could see it's like this continual nonstop looping. It's exhausting.
Can you repeat again, please?
You can see that it's nonstop looping.
Tú puedes ver que no puedes detenerte de buscar.
Loop. What's the word for loop, Lena?
Bucle.
Bucle, my favorite word, bucle.
Bucle.
Constant
bucle.
Es
como un repetir en el bucle, sí. Estar repitiendo, o sea, repetir esa experiencia como bucle, sí. Buscándola una y otra vez.
All to obscure infinite light out of awareness and peace of mind.
Can you repeat again, please?
It's all to obscure light out of awareness.
Eso oscurece la luz de nuestra santidad.
And peace of mind and joy that's natural.
Y la paz mental es lo natural.
The natural state, which is happiness.
Y el estado natural es la felicidad.
So it's based on commitment and dedication to looking.
Y necesitamos estar comprometidos con la búsqueda. Tenemos que estar comprometidos con esa búsqueda. Continue.
So I'm going to open it up to the brothers to hear your experience with pleasure and pain and in control and out of control and what Jesus is telling you.
Hay Can you repeat again? I'm so sorry, Kai. Can you repeat again?
We're opening it up so that if anyone has any questions about this or they want to share their experiences going into the subconscious mind.
Ok, ahora vamos a abrir para que si algún hermano tiene alguna experiencia o tiene alguna pregunta, lo podemos hacer a partir de ahora.
When I focus on the desire, the pain and the pleasure, and I see those together, they start to dissipate.
Can you repeat again? So sorry, yes, sister.
That's okay. When I focus on the desire and I see
Cuando me enfoco en el deseo
and I see the pleasure in the pain,
y en el deseo de el placer en el dolor,
that it starts to dissipate. I have to focus.
pero tengo que estar enfocada, desaparece, pero tengo que estar enfocada.
I have to just say no to everything else and just be dedicated to just seeing that and staying with the desire.
Sí, y tengo que ver también a los demás en ese deseo.
And asking Jesus for help.
Y le pregunto a Jesús.
Yeah, it takes a lot of mind training, a lot of light training for this, to have this diligence of looking.
Sí, es un entrenamiento, es un largo entrenamiento o es un fuerte entrenamiento en esta búsqueda. O sea, es...
But I do see that the effort is falling away.
Pero el esfuerzo vale la pena.
This idea that I have to do something or...
Tengo la idea de que tengo que hacer algo.
Either that I'm doing it on my own or that I've got it and I've got it covered.
Lo voy a hacer por mi cuenta o... Can you repeat again, dear sister?
Like that I've got this, like that idea that I've got this, like control, like under control.
Okay, tiene la idea de poder tenerlo bajo control.
And it becomes simpler and simpler, actually.
Es muy sencillo, es muy simple. Sí, absolutamente.
At first, you might feel a bit shredded, you know, like you're being shredded apart.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah. When you first start looking, you might feel shredded apart.
Primero comienza a mirar. Es posible que te sientas destrozado.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, because
¿Por qué?
you have to be 100% in to see this. Jesus said,
Tiene que estar 100, o sea, tiene que estar comprometido 100% en ver esto.
See, if you go in with it kind of, well, you know, you can't be like that, like, oh, yeah. You have to be full in. I am going to see if this is true. You know, you lock down on it and go, I am going to find out, is this true?
Sí, tienes que estar comprometido y tienes que ir y decir, voy a ir a ver, esto es verdad. Tienes que hacerlo de verdad. Tienes que hacerlo.
And be curious, you know, don't be too serious about it. Just kind of go, that's interesting. Let me see if it works this way.
Y tienes que ser curioso y tienes que verlo, no tienes que ser serio, pero tienes que ir y ver, bueno, vamos a ver qué es esto.
Our function is only willingness to be shown this.
Nuestra función es sencillamente tener la voluntad de verlo, para verlo, o sea, tener la disposición para verlo, estar dispuesto a ver.
And then admit it when you see it and go, holy smokes, I do relish pain a lot.
Y decir entonces, bueno, que, can you repeat again? I'm so sorry. See,
And admit you do like relish pain a lot. You like it a lot.
I don't know.
And just admit that how much you like pain.
Admítelo cuánto te gusta el dolor.
That's it. You know, it's that's why we come together and we laugh a lot, because when you see it and it blooms in your mind.
Por eso nos juntamos.
You can translate. Sometimes this thing does its own thing. Okay.
Okay, can you repeat again?
That's why we laugh. You start laughing when you see this is true. You just laugh your head off because you know you're choosing it.
Okay. Por eso comenzamos a reír cuando nos damos cuenta de eso y bueno, y lo elegimos. Y elegimos hacerlo.
You start seeing how much you really, want to complain about it, but deep down, you just love it every minute.
Sí, cuando comenzamos a hacerlo, bueno, lo amamos cada momento.
And you'll see it because it's like I've talked about, I think his name was Timmy. He was such a good lesson. Timmy was such a good lesson for me. Timmy.
Who is Timmy?
He was a good lesson.
Timmy fue una buena lección.
I told you when I was in the prison, I'm coaching. I was doing coaching sessions.
Eso fue una sesión de.
And he was talking about being arrested.
Que él estuvo hablando que estuvo encarcelado.
And, you would think that's not such a great, fun thing to be arrested.
Y él habló acerca de su experiencia de estar arrestado.
But I could see he had a little sparkle in his eye.
Pero, sorry.
I could see he had a little sparkle in his eye.
Pude ver que tenía un poco de sparkle en los ojos.
A little shine. His eye was shining.
Yes, una luz, sí. Que podía tener una chispa. It's like a chispa. Es como una chispa, un brillo, like a chispa.
Because someone will be talking about something really serious, but you see there's some kind of pleasure in it.
Sí, puedes ver que una persona está muy seria, pero puedes ver que tiene como una pequeña luz, una pequeña chispa. Sí. In Spanish it's like a picardía en los ojos, como en la mirada. Es like, yes, you're talking is in Spanish. Una picardía es como luz en su mirada.
Okay. So I said to him, you like being arrested. You love it.
Y tú has estado arrestado y eso es amoroso. O sea, tú lo amabas, tú lo querías.
You should have seen him. He was like this. Yes. He loved it.
Y él dijo, sí.
Yeah, I said, how many times have you been arrested?
¿Cuánto tiempo estuviste en prisión, arrestado?
He's like, and he's about 22 or 24. I mean, okay.
Alrededor de 22, 24 years.
40. He'd been arrested 40 times.
Fue arrestado 40 veces. Estuvo arrestado 40 veces. Wow.
Because he believed that
they're
all his friends. They're all his friends down at the jail. He liked to go see them, all the police officers.
Porque él pensaba que todos eran sus amigos, que todos los que estaban allá eran sus amigos, los policías.
But can you see it persisted because
él persistía porque
he thought there was heaven and love in it. He thought he could get love going into jailhouse.
Porque él le gustaba, él amaba estar en la cárcel.
But you'll see it in every single one of these, in this diagram, every corner. In the diagram.
Puedes ver en el diagrama, en la esquina.
Every one of those items listed, every item listed in that diagram
No, I don't understand.
Okay. Every item listed in the diagram that I gave you
Todos los elementos enumerados en el diagrama que les di.
okay? Every pleasure, pain, victim, victimizer.
Cada uno, cada rol, víctima, victimario, dolor.
You'll see that you got a little golem down in the subconscious mind with a sparkle in its eye.
Hay una chispa, hay en cada uno de ellos hay un detalle, hay un brillo, hay un toque.
Every single one.
Cada uno de ellos.
You know, that was a good, thank you, Tim. And I could see it over and over in these coaching sessions.
Can you repeat again, guys?
I'm thanking Tim for what I learned from him.
Ella pensaba en Tim cuando veía cada uno de ellos.
And through all the different coaching sessions, you could start to see the sparkle. You could see it like the wanting of hell. So every one of the coaching sessions, I could start to see how, even though it was something bad happening, it was really enjoyed.
Vale.
Entonces, en cada una de las sesiones de coaching, pude comenzar a ver cómo, aunque fue algo malo, sucedió y fue realmente divertido.
That they liked it. That they really liked all of it.
Y les gustó a todos.
Me gustó todo.
Ajá.
So they loved it. But
Y
that was for me to start seeing, okay, so what things am I complaining about that I'm really enjoying it?
Esa es su comprensión de que en realidad lo disfrutó.
Humble. So thank you, Renee.
Gracias, René.
She's pointing to something important though, that focus. It will take that kind of focus.
Can you repeat again, please, Guy?
She's pointing to something important.
El punto es que allá es algo importante,
It takes focus.
estar enfocados.
Okay, anybody else? This is good. Oh, okay, Kathleen. Oh, there you go. Hola.
Yeah. Hola, hola. Yeah, I was very moved by the diagram and that looping business.
Estoy muy conmovida por el diagrama.
I was being shown that the subconscious mind is very much like a dance club. I saw a picture of, I'm a New Yorker, I saw Studio 54 and the lights were going and the music was blasting and people were all different shades of high and it was so elaborate, but.
Okay, this is good, let her translate.
Que ella se dio cuenta de que el diagrama, que de lo que se trataba allí era como una discoteca de Estudio 54, como un show. ¿Ok? Something like that. Con muchos personajes y caracteres.
Can I go or?
Yeah.
Okay. So the picture was underscoring the fact that this system, this subconscious, elaborate maze that we all find ourselves in can't be underestimated. It's just completely embedded with layers and layers and layers to distract. And that has to also be embraced along with the dedication principle. But Kay, even that diagram with the looping thing, I could barely even go to the quadrants. And I thought this is exactly the perfect symbol for how it all works.
Okay. All right, let's.
Okay, I'm talking.
No, it's good. It's good. Let's see how far Lizbeth does if she needs more elaboration. Lizbeth, you're right.
It's freezing. I cannot hear anything.
Oh,
We're losing you somehow. So what Kathleen's saying is all that pinging around, there are just so many layers. There's layers upon layers of this that cannot be underestimated.
Entonces, con Cathleen diciendo que es todo ese ping alrededor, hay tantas capas. Hay capas sobre capas de esto que no se pueden subestimar.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Kathleen.
I was also thinking, just as a psychotherapist, how we break it down. There's the victim and there's the victimizer, and you're going to be talking about how you were victimized by someone. The whole session is spent on that, and rah, rah, rah. We talk about
this is important. So let her share that. Can you hear that, Lizbeth?
No. There is some noise.
Okay, I'll just do it on here. Okay. So she's talking about, she's a psychotherapist, and she's talking about in their sessions, you tend to talk about one, and someone talks about, oh, I've been victimized, or, these sorts of, you focus on one or the other.
Entonces ella está hablando de ella y ella es psicoterapeuta y ella está acusando en sus sesiones de que usted tiende a hablar de una y alguien habla de cómo he sido víctima o sabes que este tipo de personas se enfocan en una u otra.
Okay.
how it is, you have to buy into the dualism. That is essential. And as you were speaking, Kay, of course, it would be to be able to zero in to, wait a minute, there's only one of us here. There's only one of us here. And if we can grok that, we will find some other, I'm seeing right now a hatch door to be able to breathe the air, the freedom, as you say, but there's no hatch door.
Yeah, let me translate.
Okay.
Let's see. So she's saying she sees this is the way out, essentially. You can see a way out from this.
Yeah.
Está diciendo que ve esto como es. Esencialmente, usted puede ver una salida de esto.
I think I might, and you said something before that too, I want to catch.
I lost it.
Yeah. So she's right. This, if you really grasp this, grok it, she said. We use the word, no, it's not going to translate. That if you really get this deeply, let the bird land in the heart on this one, you'll see it's your way out of suffering.
Yeah.
Si realmente entiendes esto, deja que verland en el corazón en este caso, verás que es tu manera de salir del sufrimiento.
The bird land in your heart in terms of knowing the truth of this in your heart. It won't translate. Yeah, done like that, Birdland. To get this in your heart and know it within your heart, you'll see it is your way out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Para tener esto en tu corazón y saberlo dentro de tu corazón, verás que es tu salida.
And she was pointing to seeing that there is only one. They're not all these different parts and pieces that are at play. It's one, just pretending like they're all the parts and pieces.
Y ella estaba apuntando a ver que solo hay uno. No son todas estas partes y piezas diferentes que están en play. Es una que finge que son todas las partes y piezas.
Well, and this is why in therapy, you're chasing your tail without this kind of specificity and diligence.
Right.
Es por eso que en la terapia estás persiguiendo tu cola sin este tipo de especificidad y diligencia.
Almost the therapeutic approach might even be to clearly delineate your role. You know, you are being victimized. This is something that you have to learn how to take your power back. You know, it's very much, it's more of an aggressive stance. It is.
Okay, let me say that, that's important. So she's saying in therapy, you're kind of focusing on taking your power back. So on the opposite, it's actually a movement into keeping that identity going, actually.
Yeah. Ella te dice y te pega a ti y tu tipo de enfoque en recuperar tu poder. Entonces, por el contrario, en realidad está moviendo un movimiento y manteniendo esa identidad en marcha.
In the therapeutic, she's talking about in the therapeutic context.
Está hablando de lo terapéutico.
Because they focus, for example, she gave the example, you focus on, okay, I'm the victim, and now it's this aggressive kind of movement.
Ejemplo, ella dio el ejemplo en el que te enfocas bien. Yo soy la víctima y ahora es así de agresivo.
I have to take my power back.
Tengo que recuperar mi poder.
But they're the same, you know, it's a perpetuation that there's a victim and now I'm not going to be the victim anymore. See, if I have this power, I can't be a victim, but it's still the victim mentality. It's still belief that there is a victim.
Well, it's dancing all around those
que hay una víctima y ahora ya no voy a ser la víctima. Mira si tengo este poder. No puedo ser una víctima, pero la mentalidad de víctima sigue siendo creer que hay una víctima.
Go ahead, Kathleen.
It's still dancing around all those quadrants.
Yes.
But it's not electing to see that you have all four operating at the same time. Yeah. Right now, he's showing me, again, go back to the dance floor. See how elaborate this is. It is made up to distract. And what you were saying earlier about how the whole construct is designed in the most bombastic way with the lights and the booze and the music and the fakery on some level. It's designed to suppress in the most magnificent and soul leveling way the light.
Lisbeth, you want to try to translate that? Or you want me to try? Can you hear us? How are you doing, Elizabeth? You want to try again? Or so she's basically talking about you're dancing around all these different quadrants, you know, all the time. And you're not seeing really the big picture of how elaborate this is, this denial of the light is.
Así que básicamente está hablando de ti, estás bailando alrededor de todos estos cuadrantes diferentes, lo sabes todo el tiempo y no estás viendo realmente el panorama general. Si lo hubiera elaborado, esto es esta negación de la luz.
You see, that's just a great argument. While you need that voice for wisdom, what to look at. That's why we're asking him what to look at first, because he's going to know how to uncouple this thing.
Yeah.
Mira, ese es solo un gran argumento mientras necesitas esa voz para saber qué mirar. Es por eso que le preguntamos qué mirar primero, porque él sabrá cómo desacoplar esta cosa.
Yeah.
I like the dance floor though.
Mm.
But she was talking about the dance floor and all the lights and all, it's a distraction machine.
Mhm. Mhm.
¿Sabes? Ella estaba hablando de la pista de baile y todas las luces y todo lo que decían máquina de distracción.
And I'm hearing it's eons of lifetimes that we're on that dance floor, and we prefer to be on that dance floor. That is what we keep coming back for. And I'm seeing though that there is a step ladder to the hatch, the hatch to breathe real freedom. It's there. It's even there on the dance floor. But you've got to, now I'm getting a picture of, you've got to separate. You've got to leave the action and decide to leave the action.
Yes.
The emphasis.
Wow. Hope I can get all that, Kathleen, because it's good. I don't know if I can get it all. So she's talking about how
Ella muere de hambre.
It's been eons of this play and recycling and reincarnation just to keep coming back and playing on the dance floor.
No, han pasado eones. Es este juego y reciclaje y reencarnación solo para seguir regresando y tocando en la pista de baile.
But that the exit's even on the dance floor. There's a way out here.
¿Cuáles son las salidas incluso en la pista de baile? Sabes, hay una salida aquí.
But you can see by looking at this without some diligent looking, this is not a part-time thing to be able to get unwound from this habitual flying around these quadrants.
Pero ya sabes, puedes ver si miras esto sin un poco de atención diligente. Esto no es algo a tiempo parcial para poder desenrollarte de este vuelo habitable alrededor de estos cuadrantes.
Because we like it, because in the play likes it.
Está en la obra, a la obra le gusta.
I've been screwed by God play,
And he's telling,
I've been screwed over by God play. No. The play and the complaining about God has screwed me over.
La obra y las quejas de Dios me han jodido.
Go ahead.
No, God is a narcissist, gonna do me wrong. Doing all that.
God's a narcissist and gonna do me wrong.
Las probabilidades y el narcisista me hacen mal.
No, God. God is a narcissist and going to do me wrong.
Dios es un narcisista y me va a hacer mal.
But he's saying to me that the dance floor and all its many levels and lights is only my personal maintenance program. And we love it. We love that music. Bring on the lights. Give me a drink.
Yeah, he's saying Jesus is telling her how it's our personal dance floor and we like the lights and keep asking for another drink.
Sí, él está diciendo que Jesús le está diciendo que es nuestra pista de baile personal y que nos gustan las luces y seguimos pidiendo otra bebida.
And we love it.
Lo amamos.
But you'll be amazed. It's amazing how many times we have to go down there and see we love it until we finally really admit, oh my God, we love all of this.
Yeah.
Se sorprenderá de esta increíble cantidad de veces que tenemos que ir allí y ver que nos encantó hasta que finalmente admitimos a todo mi Dios. Amamos todo esto.
Yeah, that it's kind of got discombobulated, but anyway, yeah. The bottom line is admitting that it's loved, it's the beloved, more beloved than the totality of love.
La conclusión es admitir que es amada. Es el amado más amado que la totalidad del amor.
Yeah.
And how much it's relished more than following the light unequivocally.
Y cuánto se disfruta más que seguir la luz de manera inequívoca.
Because the light, the guidance of listening to that inner wisdom to see, that's all Jesus is offering.
Es la luz y el tipo que está escuchando esa sabiduría interior para ver que eso es todo lo que Jesús ofrece.
The ego constantly screams, oh my goodness, I don't want to talk to that voice.
El ego grita constantemente, oh Dios mío, no quiero hablar con esa voz.
And the ego says, oh my gosh, I'm afraid that Jesus or God's going to make me do something I don't want to do.
The ego dice, oh Dios mío, tengo miedo de que Jesús o Dios me obliguen a hacer algo, no quiero hacer.
Okay, so this translator translates the word ego to ego.
Bien, entonces este traductor traduce la palabra ir a Igel.
No. It exchanges the word ego for eagle.
Cambia la palabra ego por águila.
So that's really the question. Are we willing to be diligently enough to follow the voice that can show us every place in the mind where we like the dance floor?
Así que esa es realmente la pregunta. ¿Estamos dispuestos a ser lo suficientemente diligentes para seguir la voz que puede mostrarnos cada lugar de la mente donde nos gusta la pista de baile?
So the ego is not arguing that Jesus is going to make it do something it doesn't want to do.
El ego no está discutiendo. El Jesús va a hacer que haga algo no quiere hacer.
It's arguing against something it does not want to see.
Argumentando en contra de algo no quiere ver.
It's arguing to keep the dance floor.
Discutiendo para mantener la pista de baile.
That's all it's doing.
Mm.
Whenever we're not following that inner light wisdom,
Nunca no estuviste siguiendo esa sabiduría de luz interior.
whenever we do not follow guidance,
Siempre que no sigamos la guía,
we're putting a vote in for that looping.
Mhm.
voy a votar por ese techo.
No. We're putting a vote, a positive vote in to keep all the looping, that whole looping pattern.
Poner un bote en un bote positivo para mantener todo el bucle de ese patrón de bucle.
Yeah. We are putting in support for that looping pattern.
Estamos apoyando ese patrón de bucle.
So it's essential. It's essential to learn to hear that voice and to only follow that voice. It's the only way to fully transcend out of this looping.
Imprescindible aprender a escuchar esa voz en el único seguir esa voz. Es la única forma de trascender completamente de este bucle.
You know, it just, the whole thing's made to last eons. So that's why you can't just do this looking once a week.
Cosas geniales hechas para...
This has been going on for eons.
Esto ha estado sucediendo durante eones.
That is why you can't just look once a week, do this deep inner looking once a week or whenever it's convenient.
Porque no puedes mirar una vez a la semana.
Okay. It takes a very dedicated effort.
Se necesita un esfuerzo muy dedicado.
Anything else, Kathleen? This is good.
Nope. I think I'm complete at
That's
that
good.
point.
That's beautiful. Buenas noches. Did you get your phone?
You want to turn the camera around a little bit?
Voy a girar un...
Hola a todos.
Hola a todos.
Hi, Kathleen. So it takes a great deal of humility to look this deeply.
Así que se necesita mucha humildad para mirar esto profundamente.
The Mary personality, the Mary identity is so sure she knows exactly what's going on.
La personalidad de María, la identidad de María, está tan segura de que sabe exactamente lo que está pasando.
And being here at the center now for about a year and a half and looking and looking and looking and looking and looking and looking and looking.
Y estar aquí en el centro ahora durante aproximadamente un año y medio y mirar y mirar y mirar y mirar y mirar y mirar y mirar.
I mean, sometimes Lena and I will go for a couple of hours and Kay joins us.
Quiero decir, a veces nos apoyaremos y me iré por un par de horas en casa y nos une.
And there's a couple things about this joining.
Y hay un par de cosas sobre esta unión.
The power of joining with another mighty cannot be underestimated.
No se puede subestimar el poder de unirse con otro poderoso.
Or overestimated.
Estimado.
And the focus not, okay. And the focus is not on what Mary's thinking in her mind.
Y la atención no está en lo que Mary está pensando.
Thinking, not sinking.
Pensar, no sincronizar.
Let's see if Lizbeth, can you come back on and translate? I don't know if she's available to try to translate again. Maybe she can hear. Let's test. Lizbeth, can you come back on? Or it's still not good hearing? She's having a hard time hearing before. Okay. Okay, keep going.
As it has been mentioned, it's the continual focus within and listening and asking. I will start out sessions with, Jesus, please show me the full relishing of this desire.
Se ha mencionado, Es el continuo enfoque en el interior y escuchar y pedirme que empiece las sesiones en Jesús.
Just check it to make
Por
sure.
favor, muéstrame el pleno disfrute de este deseo.
So there's this silence, there's this listening, willingness to just listen.
Entonces hay este silencio, a esta disposición de escuchar para simplemente escuchar.
At first, Mary was throwing in everything but the kitchen sink.
Al principio, Mary tiraba todo, menos el fregadero de la cocina.
And now it's just quiet asking and listening. And so it goes very deep into listening.
Y ahora es solo preguntar y escuchar en silencio, por lo que profundiza mucho en escuchar, escuchar, escuchar.
And as Renee was saying, it's not about doing. I'm not doing anything.
Y como decía Reni, no se trata de hacer, yo no hago nada.
It really comes down to trusting and allowing Jesus to work with me.
Realmente se trata de confiar y permitir que Jesús trabaje conmigo.
And then there's just no words to describe how that all begins to dissipate.
Y luego simplemente no hay palabras para describir cómo todo eso comienza a disiparse.
And like Cathleen was saying, the hatch, the ladder and the hatch, and it just, allows that freedom.
Y como Cathleen estaba diciendo, la escotilla, la escalera en la escotilla y simplemente permite esa libertad.
Yeah.
It's a great reminder how deep this, it's an addiction. It's an addiction, this looping.
El gran recordatorio de qué tan profunda es una adicción. Realmente es una adicción a la...
It's an addiction. Hola. Lina.
Bendición.
Hola, hello. Bueno, a mí me vienen varias cosas a la mente que quiero compartir.
Well, several things come to mind that I want to share.
Realmente te tienes que preguntar si realmente quieres sanar tu mente.
You really have to ask yourself if you really want to heal your mind.
Porque el ego pone muchísima resistencia.
Sí.
Because Lego puts up a lot of resistance.
Y siempre el propósito es sanar la mente.
And always the purpose is to heal the mind.
Este método funciona y es muy rápido, pero te tienes que aplicar constantemente.
This method works and is very fast, but you have to apply yourself constantly.
Ir con los hermanos poderosos es una bendición.
Going with the mighty brothers is a blessing.
Facilita muchísimo esto, así es que el que Jesús ponga los círculos en grupo es una bendición.
It makes this a lot easier, so that Jesus putting the circles in a group is a blessing.
Y pese a lo que el ego diga que no quiere mirar, es cuando más me tengo que poner el propósito de mirar.
And despite what the ego says that it does not want to look, that is when I have to make the most of the purpose of looking.
Sí. Porque normalmente ahí es cuando empezamos a ver los pensamientos secretos del ego que no quiere que miremos.
Because that's usually when it starts. I love knowing Lego's secret thoughts that he doesn't want us to look at.
Y terminas dándote cuenta que descubrir todo eso es una bendición porque es una liberación.
And you end up realizing that discovering all that is a blessing because it is a liberation.
Y esto es un colapso del tiempo porque todo lo que vas a mirar ahí abajo es una liberación.
And this is a collapse of time because all that is going to come out down, there is a liberation.
Y el único que te le va a hacer ver feo es el ego, pero para eso existe el perdón, para decir esto no lo quiero escuchar, no me interesa.
And the only thing that will make you look ugly is the ego. But for that there is forgiveness to say this, I do not want to hear it, I am not interested.
Y esa es otra de las grandes fortunas que nos dan estos círculos, que nos abrimos a la guía, nos abrimos a la escucha, nos abrimos a preguntar, a ese diálogo interno con la voz de la totalidad, la voz de Jesús.
And that is another of the great fortunes that these circles give us, that we open ourselves to the guide, we open ourselves to listening. We open ourselves to ask that internal dialogue with the voice of the totality, the voice of Jesus.
Sí. Y bueno, en la medida que vamos mirando, van llegando nuestras experiencias de liberación, que nos dan las experiencias que no podemos explicar. Necesitamos vivirlas.
And well, as we go looking at our liberation experiences, which give us the experiences that we cannot explain, we need to live them.
Ujú. Así es que unámonos a mirar una y otra vez para poder liberar y recibir muchos milagros.
So let's join in looking over and over again so that we can release and receive many miracles.
Gracias. Bendiciones, besitos para todos.
Blessings, kisses for everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Jesus, for bringing us together. Oh, Lizbeth, we might have her back. Do we? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Jesus, for bringing us together in love.
Gracias, Jesús, por permitirnos estar unidos en el amor.
Did anybody else? I'm hearing a prompt to just ask to see if there's anyone else who heard something for Jesus or has a question.
Si alguien más quiere compartir algo acerca de lo que Jesús le pudiera estar diciendo o alguna pregunta. No.
We love you. We send you all love from San Juan.
Los amos, amor para todos ustedes. Cariño y amor para todos ustedes. Bye.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Good night.
Buenas noches.
Gracias.
Gracias.
Thank you. Thank you.